CJ Valenciano, and let's get right into the news. We begin tonight's broadcast with former President Barack Obama as I sit down with him and discuss his life and presidency. Roll it! It's so great to finally meet you, Mr. President. Let's get started. Tell our viewers a bit about your childhood. We all know that you were born in Hawaii, but tell us a little bit more about your childhood. After all, it was a little bit more than living in Hawaii, wasn't it? Great question, CJ. So, I was born in Hawaii, like you said, but when I was about 6 years old, I moved to Indonesia to live with my stepfather, Lolo, who was married to my mother at the time. And life there was pretty tough because most of the people there spoke only Portuguese and I spoke English. So every morning at 4 a.m., I would wake up and I would study my Portuguese and political science, my passion at the time. But things between my mom and Lolo didn't really work out. So when I was 10, I moved back to Hawaii to live with my grandparents, which was kind of interesting because they were white and I'm black, and they had a little bit of trouble raising me and understanding me. But they were really great people, and I enjoyed living with them. Let's talk about your college years. What were those like? Well, I attended Columbia University in New York, where I found my passion, which was helping others. But to really help others and impact change, you need a law degree. So I applied to Harvard University, and I was accepted, and I worked really, really hard, and I became the first black president of the Harvard Law Review. Because of this, I received over 700 job offers from the top law firms around the country, but I chose to work at a small law firm in Chicago and study civil rights law. So you're saying you turned down hundreds of job offers to move to a small law firm in Chicago? How did that work out? Well, it was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, because there I met the love of my life, Michelle Obama. Now, I thought I was hot stuff until I met her. I would always ask her out, and she would always reject me, but I persisted. And as they say, the rest is history. Tell us about your rise to the presidency and what you're up to now. I heard you're an Oscar winner. Now, I started in state government, and I got a lot done. I worked really hard, long days, and long nights. But I wanted to affect more change in America, so I decided to run for the U.S. Senate. But I was not ready for that, and I lost by over 30 percentage points. But I was determined to make change, so I decided to run again. And I was lucky enough to be chosen for the Democratic National Convention speech giver, and I gave an excellent speech that catapulted me onto the national stage. With America's support behind me, I won the U.S. Senate seat, and with my newfound confidence, I decided to run for the U.S. presidency. Because I promoted ideas like unity, hope, and change, I won the U.S. presidency and became the first black president in American history and won my second term in 2012. And yes, I did get a Netflix deal, and yes, I won an Oscar, but I shared it with Michelle. Barack, as always, it's a pleasure. Now, we will be right back after these short messages.
I'm Jim Amber, the Texas Hammer. I stand tough and carry a big hammer. That's right, you better run.